stop. Don't you look into random trash bags. There might be a body part in here. Don't worry about it. This one, it's just got trash in it. But just like the curiosity of trying to look into random trash bags when I'm on freeways, I got curious and wondered if a serial killer was ever known for dumping body parts in trash bags as his signature. And in my search, I found the trash bag killer. The trash bag killer's real name was Patric Kearney. So Patric Kearney was born in September 24th, 1939 in East Los Angeles, not too far from downtown Los Angeles. This guy had it bad growing up. His dad would torment him and calling him a sissy, and because he was such a small, frail boy and he would get sick all the time, his dad would always belittle him and call him names. But unfortunately, the torment didn't stop at home. He would go to school and a lot of kids would bully him there too. This started his crazy fantasies about killing his tormentors and ending their lives. And not to mention, it was so bad in his head that he fantasized about skinning them alive, which was crazy. Things only got worse for Kearney when at the age of 13 he started to engage in bestiality. That is gross. But at the age of 23, Kearney committed his first murder. The victim was a hitchhiker that he had promised a ride home to in Orange County, and he did his thing with him. And unfortunately, the cousin of the hitchhiker saw them driving away together. So Kearney, to, get rid of loose ends, went back and murdered the cousin as well. This would set off Kearney's on and off killing spree. So in 1967, Kearney and David Hill moved together into a home in Redondo Beach. It's not too far from downtown Los Angeles, towards the beach side. And once they moved in, things went bad for the couple. Kearney and Hill were always fighting. They would always be screaming at each other. So in order to avoid this, Kearney would jump in his pickup truck, or his Volkswagen Beetle, kind of like Ted Bundy, and he would drive around town looking for his victims, because in these drives he would say he wanted to clear his mind, but in reality this is what he was doing. Now keep in mind, Kearney was a very, very skinny man, very fragile man, so at all costs he avoided any violence or any confrontation with his victims. So what he would do is he would go and riz these teens up and just tell them, hey, I can give you a ride home if you like. And back then it was a norm to hitchhike, so, or accept rides from strangers. Now that's called Uber, but what do I know? Anyway, so he would take these guys and tell them, I'll give you a ride home. So in the ride, Kearney would make sure that there would be no cars near or close to him, because what he would do is, with one hand, he would be grabbing the steering wheel and making sure not to swerve to cause any unwanted attention, right? With his right hand, he would pull out his .22 and put a bullet on the temple of his victim. After doing this, he would sit his victim right side up so that it would look like he would just have a passenger that's asleep on the side. And as he would drive, he would get to these secluded areas. And Kearney was a necrophile, so he enjoyed his time with these bodies after, which is nasty. But after doing all that, he would hack up the bodies into little pieces and put all the remains into a trash bag. Different trash bags. So when he would have these trash bags, he would dump them all around LA County, in canyons, in the desert, in landfills, sometimes even on the side of freeways. So people found these bags, which is nuts. Like I said, you're curious, you go see, and you're like, hey, you pull over for, maybe you got a flat tire, or you're just pulling over because you got to relieve yourself, and you see a trash bag, and you get curious, and you're like, what's in that? You open it up, and bam, you see a finger. That'll traumatize somebody. So after getting all these murders, Kearney was not really on police's radar. But the case that did get Kearney into police's radar is the case of John Otis LeMay in 1977. So LeMay had told his neighbor that he was going to go to a man's house that he had met at the gym. This man was Dave. That's the only name he gave his neighbor. He said, oh, I'm going to Dave's house. So the neighbor said, okay, see you when you get back or whatever. LeMay took off to Dave's home. So keep in mind, David Hill lives with Patric Kearney. They're kind of lovers. So he takes off, and he told his neighbor too, like, hey, I'm going to go to this guy's house. His name's Dave in Redondo Beach. So he takes off. He goes to this house. When he knocks on the door, Hill isn't home, but Kearney is. So Kearney tells him, hey, Hill's not home. If you like, you can come in, sit on the couch, watch TV, and we could just wait for Hill to get home together. And so LeMay said, okay, that sounds good. He walks into the residence, and Kearney tells him, go ahead, sit down on the couch, watch TV, which he does. He sits down, he watches TV. Kearney walks behind the couch, and just out of instinct and him being so used to this, he pulled out his .22 pistol and put one bullet in the back of LeMay's head. So he just, puts LeMay's body into some trash bags, takes him out to the desert, and dumps him out there. So a couple of months later, on March 18th, 1977, LeMay's remains were found, and now police were hot on Kearney's tail. So him and Hill decided to go on the run, and they decided to go to El Paso, Texas, where they had a little short run because the family members of both finally was calling them and telling them, hey, you guys need to turn yourself in, which they did because they finally convinced them. And on July 1st, 1977, after a short run from authorities, Kearney and Hill turned themselves in to the Riverside County Sheriff's Office. So Kearney, he was giving 21 life sentences, and as of 2002 was the latest I can see that he was still serving his time in Mule Creek State Prison in California. I couldn't find if he's still alive today, but if he was still alive today, I believe that would make him 83 years old. I think. Maybe the math isn't mathing, but it's all good. Anyways, David Hill, he was cleared, and he was cleared of all crimes, and he was released back to the public, and he just went about living his life. So, it's good, and it sucks that LeMay had told his neighbor. It was good that he told his neighbor, hey, I'm gonna go meet this person, so and so, but it's bad because he did pass away. But it was good because it gave police a point of reference, basically, where they can start their investigation and who to look into, because that was the last person that saw him. So growing up, I remember that my dad always used to ask me 3 questions before I left the house, because my dad grew up in the era of all this madness that was going on. Ted Bundy, Patric, all these serial killers that were out and about, especially in the San Fernando Valley where I live. There was a lot, the Hillside Strangler, the Night Stalker. All these people were going around causing crazy mayhem. So my dad, growing up, every time I would go out, he would tell me, hey, who you going with? Where are you going? And what time do you think you'll be back? So when I was a kid, I used to get upset because I'm like, man, why is he always got to be up on my business, But then I realized, going through all these cases, and even before, because I've had things happen to me where I blew a tire, or my car broke down and my phone wasn't charged. And, I remember the first time I took off to work, I ran out of gas, and I had a call from a payphone, and I was like, hey, I don't know the streets, but I'm here, and here. And my dad was like, okay, I think I know which street you took, or whatever. So it saved me from some trouble, but you never know. I mean, those 3 questions can save your life. And if something were to happen to you, at least there's clues to where to start. That's the way I see it, is that it can be a saving questions, because this could save your life, like, hey, I'm going with so-and-so, and this is where I'm going, and at this time I'll be back. And so next time, if you're going by yourself to meet somebody up, or if you're going to do something by yourself, just let someone know that's close to you. That way, if something were to happen, at least they have an idea where to start. And I feel like that's what my dad was trying to, put into my brain. And now that I'm older, I see why he would ask that. So next time you're out and about and you're out by yourself, like me, I do stuff by myself. I tell my girlfriend where I'm going. I tell my cousin where I'm going sometimes. And so you never know. It could save your life, But other than that, I really appreciate everybody tuning in and watching my videos. The Tokyo cab stories did pretty well. I hope these do pretty well as well. And remember to like and subscribe. Also, if you guys have any compliments, if you guys have any comments on what I can change or what I can do better, feel free to comment, and let me know. I'm trying to get better at this. So I'll only take it as advice, I'd say, But other than that, thank you so much for tuning in. Remember to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next video.